Top of the morning to you. Time for the Tireside Chat with a banana. Good way to start the day. That was terrible, I know. I'm sorry, David. Talking to my buddy David in Scotland. Yeah. It's Tuesday, November 22nd. I always have to question myself. No, I shouldn't question myself. I know what day it is. I ain't one of those fools who don't know what time it is, as Terry Tate would say. I should really have an agenda, or at least a general guideline for what I'm going to talk about, and just have it in front of my face. Note to self. Have notes. Give me a break. I'm learning, okay? And I'm hungry. And I'm an hour late to work this morning because I didn't sleep well last night for a combination of reasons. Yeah. Tweaked my neck a little bit. I think just laying on the couch last night. I don't know how I did that. And I never get back issues. Ever since I started running and exercising again, I realized that like 6-7 years ago, when I was still partying all the time, is that 7 years ago? I think it's been almost, 6.5. Anyways, side note. Yeah, before that, like, I was never exercising or anything. I remember getting, like, kinks in my neck or my back all the time. And, I'm trying to merge on a 99 here and have a conversation at the same time. Which, I'm a total professional. Anyways, since I started running and everything, it seems like I don't really get those anymore. Maybe once every 6 months or something I'll get some kind of kink, but, not really a problem, so... there was that, and then, like an idiot, I don't know why, yesterday I was at work, and, like, while I was eating lunch, and I was looking for stuff to watch on YouTube, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna look up the Dante's Inferno. Like, that kind of stuff fascinates me, anything having to do with hell, and wound up going off on a tangent, looking at movies about hell. And this person had put together a review of like top 10 movies, and I was like, oh, well, these are interesting. I might go look at trailers. And one of them was, what's it called? The house that Jacob built? Or no, I'm thinking of Jacob's Ladder. That was one of them. And it was the house that Jack built. Jacob. Yeah, and I've watched like a few like cut scenes, and oh my god, I can't unsee that. It was terrible. So like I was thinking about that in the middle of the night too. Of course, you don't think about this stuff until you go to bed, and then I like kept replaying. I'm not even gonna mention it. I don't like those movies. I don't understand people that do. Just gore and like torturing children. Anyways, moving on. It's Tuesday. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Robin, don't talk about crypto. You're always talking about crypto, blah, 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 blah. We're tired of hearing about it. It's not doing well. I'm still doing a little bit of mining. Sorry, I'm going to talk about crypto for a second. I'm still doing a bit of mining. I've got 2 graphics cards, 2 3080 Ti's at home next to my desk, sitting there on the floor, the remnants of one of my rigs. Started mining Caspa, and it's doing like 150 Caspa a day, which is the equivalent right now of, 50 cents, which is about the most you're going to get out of mining anything right now at best. 50 cents a day. 50 cents a day between 2 powerful graphics cards. So really, yeah, 25 cents a day per card. And, you know, it costs more than that in electricity unless you're on solar, which I'm not. But it's not a ton of electricity, and I'm just kind of doing it for fun right now. And I mean, I already bought a bunch of that coin anyhow. Sorry, this is like really shaky. I gotta get another GoPro. These things are like $300 though. Anyway, what else is going on? Having my protein bar. Doctor says my protein's low. That's not true. My protein's fine. My ACLs are not looking great. Sorry again about the sun and right in the camera lens. The steering wheel's kind of blocking it. Yeah, my ACLs are not looking great. I'm supposed to be cutting back on carbs. These are no sugar or anything in these. There's some carbs. It's not terrible, but I'm trying to exercise more. I've been running like every other day, and then riding my bike on the weekends. But yeah, oh, here we are, Raleigh Avenue. You son of a bitch. I think I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go straight. I'm not gonna go down California. I recently discovered California Avenue. It was recommended to me. My hands are cold. See, I'm like a squirrel all over the place in conversations. Yeah, my coworkers recommended going down California Avenue because there's usually less traffic and there's not like the stop sign and the stop light along the way. But driving down that yesterday and just realizing it's a little more dangerous to go down that way. A guy, I was driving home, and a guy coming the other direction, his car started like veering over into my side of the road. And you know, in the course of half a second, I'm like, oh, okay, well, he's gonna correct that. And he wasn't correcting it. He kept veering over into my side of the road until I'm like, oh shit, I better like slow down. And I started pulling off onto the shoulder to get out of the way. And finally he corrected himself. But like people just commuting down those country roads, it's like once a week you see something on the morning news about somebody getting killed, hit by a car, head-on collision, drunk driver, crashing, crazy stuff. There was a guy, it's all on country roads around here. There was a guy at my last job, I can't remember his name now. If I don't see someone for 6 months, I forget their name. Stupid brain. But great guy. He was like one of our mechanical engineers out in the shop. And I hadn't seen him in like a couple of weeks, and I wasn't going out to the shop that much anyways. But one day I went out to another one of the offices out in the shop and was talking to my other buddy out there, and they're like, hey man, you want to sign this card? And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, what for? And they're like, oh, for, what's his name? Yeah, he, you didn't hear? He was driving down this country road outside of Orange Cove or wherever he was, and you know, there's this oncoming pickup truck, and he's like, it got into his lane and was coming right at him. So like he moved to the other side of the road, and the guy flipped back, so he was right in front of him. And then he moved again, and the guy flipped back, so it was just head-on collision, like suicide by head-on collision. And yeah, and the guy in my office, I can't believe I don't remember his name. It'll come to me later. Yeah, so head-on collision. Like both his legs are broken, like all sorts of injuries, you know. terrible. And the guy's like, you know, his life's not this, it's changed forever. It's just sad. Sorry, I'm hungry. So I've got like a 25-minute drive. Is that too long for these videos? I can find stuff to talk about. I think this is healthy. For me, not for you. I think I do need to get... I do want to buy another GoPro. It was just like $300. The one I had, I bought, it was like September of 2021, and I used it a few times for a few different things. I made that helium training video that I put up on Udemy.com, and I forget what the other training site was where you can sell or subscriptions to your training videos that you create. I think I made like $10 on that, by the way. I spent like a whole week while I was unemployed putting that together. Anyways, I used the GoPro for that, and a couple odds and ends here and there. It was really cool, but then like, I don't know, it was like June or something, I started having trouble turning it on, and I was kind of like mess with it, and I would figure out how to reset it. I'm like, oh, there it goes, it's working again. And then I'd go to use it a couple weeks later, and then it wasn't turning on. And I'd be like, I'll get to it later. And then finally, like 3 weeks ago, I was like, oh yeah, I really want to use the GoPro. I'm going to use it in the car for doing, this thing. And could not get it to turn it on. I went through all these troubleshooting steps. I tried different batteries. I tried different chargers. And finally, I was like, well, why don't I contact support, dumbass? And yeah, I go through support, and they're like, oh, well, you know, it sounds like it's dead. We can replace it as long as it's under warranty. When did you buy it? We need a receipt. And I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, it's probably been a month or a year and a month, in which, yeah, it was. I went back and looked. It had been like 13 or 14 months. It wasn't under warranty anymore, so I'm like, oh, this is it's just garbage then. There's nothing I can do. I just got to go buy another one. Like, son of a bitch. That's what I get for procrastinating. I just don't like contacting support. I guess nobody does. Except for my customers. No, that's not even true. Anyways, I don't know if I can bring myself to buy another one of those. If I make some extra crypto money. Let's see if Caspa does well. I'm jinxing it just by talking about it. We'll see. I say that all the time. Anyways, what else is going on? Oh, I talked to Karen Brower yesterday on my way home. My old co-worker from Fort Worth at Weir, who's no longer with Weir, along with a bunch of other people that used to work there. I hadn't talked to her since. I went and looked, and the last text I had with her was saying, hey, we should call and catch up. That was back in May. It's now November. Oh, so that was nice. Yeah, same old thing with her. She was trying to get me to go, Robin, when are you going to move out to Fort Worth and come work out here? I'm like, nah. I guess technically she's in Dallas now. She was in Fort Worth at the time, but Dallas is a cool city. But even if I could, I don't think I'd want to live in Texas. I'm a West Coast boy through and through. Yeah. I I got messaged by someone on LinkedIn, another headhunter last night, about a job in North Fresno. He said, well, he messaged me the brief description of the job, and it sounds pretty much like what I'm doing now, except I don't know if it's for an MSP or if it's an internal IT position, but it sounds almost exactly the same. It's talking about, you know, senior IT person who wants to kind of get into management and be a mentor to junior IT people and has experience in SANS and blah, 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 yeah. And I was like, well, that sounds, I mean, right up my alley, but I'm already working at a job that's similar to that, and I've only been here 6 months. I kind of like it. I mean, I do. It has its drawbacks, but I'd say what job doesn't, but there are some jobs out there that are better than others, of course. But anyways, he asked me, you know, well, great, let's connect, send me your resume, blah blah blah, and we'll talk. And I just told him, I was like, well, you know, I'm not the kind of person that usually will just, you know, I just started at this company, unless I've got really good reason to leave. Like, I'm a little too loyal to just be like, oh, this other place is going to pay me another 10%. Bye. That's kind of messed up, and it doesn't reflect well on you as a person. Or on your resume, you go back and say, well, why'd you work at this company for only 6 months? I'm like, well, I mean, you can always exaggerate, but anyways, well, I messaged the guy back, and I just told him, I said, look, there's very little chance that I'm going to be interested, but I am curious and would like to talk to you about it, and if you want my resume, sure. And then if anything else, should I need to be looking for another job in 3 to 6 months here, because who knows what's going to happen. Can't hurt. Keep your options open, you know? So, let's see if he gets back to me. But, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I like my job in the sense that, like I was telling Karen yesterday, I don't really do help desk stuff anymore, which is fantastic. I mean, I've been trying to get away from that for my whole career, you know, 20 some odd years. I have time to focus just on projects, and I've got Matt and Shaylin, who are actually good and very intelligent, hardworking kids. I call them kids because they're both like in their late 20s. I'm not that old, give me a break, but still. But we've got, the company itself is, I mean, they're procedurally and structurally such a mess. And it's like they have an idea of where they want to get to, but now that the guy who hired me, Ryan Taylor, is gone, since he was let go, I think it's been like 6 weeks now. I mean, he was the one who had like vision and drive and was really pushing for things to get done a certain way, and everybody really was on board with what he was doing. I think they're trying to carry on the spirit of that, but now it's, you know, without him, it's these other guys, Michael and Porfy. And Michael is a great, really nice guy. I like him a lot. But and I don't spend that much time around him, and I only, you know, from what I see and hear, it sounds like he's, well, actually, what I've been told by other people who've been working with him for a while was that, I think the description was, he's going 100 miles an hour all the time, but getting nowhere, or he's going in circles. And I've repeated that to 1 or 2 people, and they're like, huh, yeah, that sounds like Michael. So between them and then Porfy, who... Should I be saying all this on YouTube? No, probably not. Can we edit that out later? Yeah. Yeah. Porfy, who I also really like. But, you know, at the same time, you know, I say that about Michael, but, I mean, he's really got a lot on his plate. He's trying to do a million things at once, and I think, you know, most of the clients that we have are all his clients that he brought on board when Sebastian bought his company out that he was just running by himself. So he's, yeah, there's a lot expected of him, between him and Porfy, who used to be the manager of all the people here on the IT team, and now is supposedly just a project manager, but is kind of bleeding into other roles. And, you know, they're doing the budget and stuff, which I had nothing to do with the budget. I think maybe they coulda, shoulda involved me a little bit more in some of that, but didn't think about it. Maybe didn't even realize that I'd be qualified to do that, but well, I'm almost to work now, and it's 7:58. Nobody cares. It's Tuesday. I've got tomorrow off. Poor Danielle is going to work today. She's got a million things to do, and then Francis, one of her box office people, and one of her best friends that's worked there for a while and is actually competent, was called in sick again. Seems like every couple of weeks it's like her daughter gets sick or she's sick, or, I mean, they've got a lot on their plates too, understandably. So I mean, it sounds like she's in kind of a rough situation at times, so it's, you know, but unfortunately Danielle's box office there just doesn't have the coverage that she really needs, and holiday season's here, and she's got a million things to do. Anyway, all right, well, I'm at work, so this concludes the Tireside Chat for today. Talk to you tomorrow. We'll probably be doing a bit of video from my home studio. Should be fun. Bye.